That's insane behavior. What did you expect me to do? I was out of mana. What at this point do you expect me to have done?
What's up, everybody? Good evening to you. How are you? It's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you. And I being glad doing the seeing and being seen by, and of course, Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live, loud and clear on a Wednesday evening. How is everyone? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I'm doing all right myself out there in TV land. Rob Turner, Doc Flamingo, how are you? Hat, that's right. Proper wizard's hat here. I'm a wizard, mind you. But anyway, I'm glad you're all here. Those of you who are here. And if you are here, give us a shout in the chat. We're going to have a fun evening this evening. I'm going to talk about paladins and why I am objectively correct about paladins and how you can be objectively correct about paladins as well. Let me say hi to all of our friends over on X. If you're out there watching over on X, hey, pop in the chat and say hello, because I like hearing from our guys and girls. We're open on all fronts there over on X, because I really like you guys. So give us a holla. But anyway, are you late? You're not late. You're not late at all. A dying breed tabletop is never late, nor is he early. He arrives exactly when he intends to. Rabbit Wrangler. See, I know why you're here, dying breed, because Australian Kyle couldn't make it. So we have American Kyle. Can we have live stream Kyle? We have live stream Kyle at home. Live stream Kyle at home. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're doing very well. Because I'm doing all right. Tuki G, good to see you. Welcome. But anyway, if you haven't already done this, like if you're just stopping by and you've been debating, like, ooh, should I do this? Should I not do this? How about doing me a favor? It would be really helpful if you would click the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications about all of my video uploads, particularly the one that I didn't send up today. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. I'm still on the fence, guys. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I really want to pour my heart out in kind of a drama farming video about all the stuff that's been going on vis-a-vis YouTube. So I did not drop a video on that today. I need to collect my thoughts. And that's right, Rob Turner. Interaction does mean a lot of help. YouTube doesn't understand or doesn't care that most of my work is done over here on YouTube Live as a platform. Good evening, Jorge. Hey, Jorge, how's Crom? You enjoying it? And that brings us around to happier stuff, folks. Tonight's live stream is brought to you by yours truly and Crom, the Character Record Organizational Manager. It is a 100% rules compliant, 100% feature complete, first edition advanced character creation software application for your Windows PC, or it runs under Wine on Linux. A Mac version is in the works. Crom is your gateway, not just to easy character creation, because let's be honest, you can probably Google first edition AD&D character generator. There's one on the back of Dragon's Foot. There's automated dice rollers online. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that none of them do, some things, plural, that none of them do that Crom does. Let's go down the list. Crom will let you add experience points to your character or subtract experience points. Crom will let you milestone level your character. Crom will let you age your character, and it will adjust stats appropriately as you age. You can manually adjust stats to increase them. You can play any type of 1E race in the entire thing. You can play as a dual class human, level up to the point where you can make that jump over. You can dual class as a half elf if you're going to bard. You can be a bard as a human. If you play any kind of magic user, guess what? It will generate a spell book for your class at the appropriate level, pulling some random spells out. Crom does all of this, guys. And did I mention that it will also handle a check for psionics, awarding correct points for psionics, and awarding you your major and minor disciplines and so on and etc. That's right. Crom will discipline you. Guys, all of these features, including output in text or in HTML, yours, including any future updates or bug fixes needed, pretty much forever, $25 US. $25 US. That's all you need. That's all you need. Well, I take a check for psionics. You've only got cash. No, sorry. I do accept via PayPal, though. Can't help picturing Crom with Arnold's voice. It's not COD, it's CROM. That's right. And maybe you're sitting out there and you're like, well, gosh darn it, Bill, that sounds really cool. But I don't have 25 bucks. And if that's the case, let me just say two things to you. Get out. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Tonight, we are giving away another free copy of Crom. We were donated 2 copies by Gonzalo, who is hopefully at home resting right now. He donated a couple of copies to the show, and tonight we're going to be giving away our second copy of Crom for your Windows PC. This is not a newer version. This is not like, oh, well, he released this version and that's no. If you've purchased Crom, I promise you, you have K. You have Crom 1.5K. That is the latest version. Check your version if you don't, and reach out to me on social media just to make sure, because 1.5K is what you want for maximum compatibilities. So that is what that is what you can do. But if you're watching tonight and you got nothing but like pocket lint and a gum wrapper and a penny and a paper clip, maybe a matchbook in your pocket, all of that stuff put together, you can't trade up for a copy for Crom. But if you are in this live stream chat tonight, we will be giving away a copy. The standard drawing method, at the appropriate time, which is not now, I will ask everyone who wants to enter for their chance to win a copy of Crom to let me know. I'll take your names down. We'll keep that list going. I'll keep asking. And then whoever wins it tonight, there's your copy of Crom. So that said, on with the show. So, I was inspired tonight. I was inspired by Jack, the Lost Lore Scholar. Jack had a couple ne'er-do-wells who like Dungeons and Dragons that isn't first edition advanced. I realize, no, Vinny, I'm not. You're going to have to be here, Vinny. You're going to have to be here when I put out the call. This is for people who are here. Like, this is not an arcade. You can't put like a quarter up on the machine and then go like play Pengo while the Defender machine has a line at it. You got to be here, bro. But no, these ne'er-do-wells were talking. They were talking about paladins. Let me break it down for you guys. If you believe the way I do on paladins, congratulations, you're objectively correct. Paladins are like this: lawful good humans who meet the characteristic minima, who remain lawful good, who do not stray into acts of chaos or neutrality. It's not an easy road to hoe. It is not. It's not an easy path to walk. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Words mean things. Maybe I'm going to sound a little dogmatic. Maybe I'm going to sound a little Kulturkampf. The words mean things. If you were lucky enough to do 4x6 arranged to taste, or the 3d6 by 12 matrix, or the 6 complete characters and pick your favorite, if you were lucky enough in all those die roll methods to get a paladin, and you wanted to play a paladin, and you successfully played that paladin, you know, you read up about Roland and Charlemagne, and you read 3 Hearts and 3 Lions, and you strictly adhered to that, that was good gameplay. You as a player, you were putting an effort into it. And you might have had a bunch of asshole friends back then who were like trying to get your paladin to fall. Because like you'd stop the thief from pickpocketing in the city. You'd stop the party from torturing captives or killing captives, at least without a fair trial and a blessing. You might even have a dungeon master who didn't like paladins. And if you walked that straight in there, you accomplished something as a gamer. You beat Doom and Nightmare. All right? You got to level 256 on Pac-Man with a single corner. You got to the kill screen in Donkey Kong on a single play. Thank you, Thomas. That's right, Doc. You did something significant, and you kept doing something significant. Because as much as your party bitched, 10-foot protection from evil radius that moved with the party, lay on hands, cure disease once a week, not hoarding the treasure for themselves, immunity to disease, which meant sometimes the paladin was the last guy standing. You accomplished something, but it took work. It took work. It took good play acumen. Gary wasn't asking you to go out and dig post holes on the back 40 all day, climb up on the roof and reshingle it. You were putting the work in, though. Exactly. You scored 1 million in River Raid. Wizard Hat or Jurassic Park. This is Gandalf hat, man. Found this in Moria, floating around in a lake all the way in the bottom. Had to dry it out, have it blocked and cleaned. But you did something. Words mean things. And if you were really into role playing and your DM was holding your feet to the fire on how you did it, you were playing a paragon. And maybe you were just some nerd with a back pocket full of big league chew, some Star Wars trading cards stuffed in your wallet, a stack of Marvel comic books at home, some lovingly painted Grenadier minis and careworn AD&D books and character sheets. But maybe, just maybe, you held your head up a little bit higher. Maybe you aspired to something a little bit more. Maybe you learned a little something about courage. That meant something. But the slop started to creep in as early as 2nd edition. Sorry, 2nd edition fans who do they're just the same game. They're not. Then it was, you can be a half-elf paladin, I guess. I don't know if they changed the characteristic minimas, but it, quote Shagrat, something's slipped. Things began to slip. And by the time we came around to the moral relativism of 3rd edition, anyone can be a paladin. Anything can be a paladin. Take a couple levels of paladin. I just want holy smite for my thief, so I'm going to paladin for a couple of levels and then hop back into, rogue. And by 4th edition, don't even get me started. The word is meaningless. It's just slop. Third edition, or 5th edition, 6th edition, it's a meaningless term. It's just people taking what they think is a cool thing and doing nothing with it. Yeah, well, my half Sorlock tiefling, quarter gelatinous cube, 1/3 Zorn, 7/9 drow is a chaotic evil paladin of Loth. And this is like the going mindset. It's like taking Superman and ripping, the American way out of Superman's key phrase. It's like if they made Captain America just Captain Country. Captain, no specific national ethos. They gutted it. They made it meaningless. Sure, go ahead and say you're a paladin. Why not? Why not say you're a chaotic evil a child sacrificer too? Do that. Yeah. Might as well, right? Nothing matters. Alignment's just a suggestion. A paladin's just what I say it is. I was teasing Jack on Discord while his live stream was going. I put up a picture of a fire hydrant and said, "Oh, look, a paladin." And then like a farm truck. "Oh, there's another paladin." And then a plate of spaghetti. "Look, there's a paladin too." I mean, it's just slop. It's just gray goo. It's meaningless. Do you know what you get if you dump all the paint tubes out on the palette and just swirl them around with your fingers? You get gray. You just get gray goo. There's no contrast anymore. There's no sense of right and wrong. And we can do this with any of the other classes. Yeah, I have an assassin, but he's an assassin of lawful good alignment. No, you've got some kind of screwed up fighter who uses poison a lot. Actually, I think assassin's out too. Yeah, and they don't say assassin anymore. It's just more types of rogue. See, yeah, my years of playing 3 and 3.5 are a little fuzzy, Damien. Thank you for the reminder. And to be clear, Kyle, I'm not throwing shade at Jack. All right. Just like the majority of the people in the live chat and his two guests. Well, why couldn't a half orc be a paladin? I mean, do I have to explain that? I mean, at the drop of a hat, if somebody said they were running a first edition AD&D game and I didn't get the stats to run one of my favorite classes, I would jump right in and I would run a lawful good half orc fighter cleric who in his heart of hearts wanted to be a paladin. But that was the best he could do. He's still a holy warrior and he can still use a blade. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Yes, Kurt Russell and the Paladin wore tennis shoes. Yeah, Rob, exactly. So I mean that's my thing. That is the hill that I will kill on. Deus Vult. Paladins are always lawful good humans who meet a minimum set of requirements. Thomas, I haven't the faintest idea what that is. But thank you for the super chat. The Hindu concept of sadhana as a way to play paladin. I don't know. I don't know. But I do thank you for the super. So my dirty words earlier are okay. Exactly. Exactly, Bingo Man Zero. No, see, no. First of all, I agree with you, Damien. I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, just call them a divine champion. But here's the thing: it's not enough for WotC to change the game. They have to destroy the path, the past, with just endless retcons. It's just it's about retcon everything. Mordenkainen's always been bald. Big B's a gnome. His name is Big B, and he's a gnome. Get it? Thomas, I'm still a little fuzzy on it. I mean, are you saying you can play it, like let a character do X and then they just get to be a paladin? No. There's a set of stats. Very good, Daniel. I like that. Because lawful good is not lawful nice. I'm not saying paladins have to be like, you know, Terminators or Inquisitors from the 40K universe. Far from it. And let me be clear. Let me be crystal clear. If your deity is lawful good, or even if your deity is neutral good and you are lawful good, and you want to play a paladin of Maris if you want to. A rare occasion years ago, I got to run a paladin. I played a paladin of St. Cuthbert, and Cuthbert skids a lot closer to lawful neutral than he does lawful good. But I ran it anyway. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Robert Phillips. Compared to what you have to be a cavalier, which, again, I don't like the idea of making the paladin a subclass of cavalier, because Gary made that addenda, in addition to all the stuff they have to do as a paladin, they also have to adhere to everything that a cavalier does. And cavaliers are vainglorious, egotistical, egomaniacal. The paladin is about the setting aside of the self. I don't know why Gary steered so hard away from Holger the Dane, Holger Carlson of Three Hearts and Three Lions, into, quite frankly, the unsavory side of cavalierdom. Cavaliers are just a bunch of martinets. Paladins are supposed to live frugally. Cavaliers will be like, step aside, peasants. My horse needs to wash his feet. Well, that's our drinking water. Like, that rain barrel holds our drinking water. I said, silence, or your head will leave your shoulders. And then they throw their filthy tabard on some local civilian and demand they clean it. That's cavaliers to me. That's not paladins. Okay, Eric the Cavalier. Damien says you suspect Gary was recycling the night rules. I have never seen. I have two versions of basic D&D. I had a rules cyclopedia. I don't anymore. That I must admit I didn't dig that deeply into. But I have basic Moldvay basic and expert, and I have Holmes introductory, and I do not recall a night class. Moloch from Chips. Now, did Eric Estrada play him? I don't know. Oh, it's part of the Beck Me stuff. Okay. Yes, John D. That's it exactly. I mean, I think the idea of playing a lawful good paladin of a good deity, just of the various good deities in Greyhawk, that just like tickles me with opportunity, with role playing opportunity ideas. Like again, go back and take a paladin of Maress. You two are happily married, aren't you? Well, we have our disagreement. I said be happily married. Got any kids? Got any plan for kids? Start working on it. Well, but basic knights were lord level fighters and forsook landed lordship for constant questing. Okay. I'll take your word for that. Again, I don't have an RC anymore, and I probably never will. I mean, unless somebody donates one to the show. Let me just say that. A pod copy, by the way. Nobody out there better be like, oh, I better send this to Bill, like, your beloved copy. Don't do that. Evil ones were Avengers. Avengers dissemble, huh? Rules cyclopedia, Gonzalo, and why are you awake? By the way, when we do the Crom giveaway again, you guys have Gonzalo to thank or to blame if you find you hate it. Correct you if you're wrong, but you don't see the paladin represented in the media. Do you think the lack of a model has played a role in all this? Very possibly. I think that a lot of modern fantasy media has gotten away from. I mean, there are no good people. It's an objective truth. There are no good people in Game of Thrones. I mean, George R.R. Martin just pretty much flat out says that he wanted an awful world full of awful people doing awful things to each other. So, I mean, the best-selling fantasy series, Everybody is Terrible. Hey, Overboard, do I play Traveler? You're just starting with Mongoose. We have played Traveler. We've like played Traveler live on the show. Thank you for stopping by, Bingo Man Zero. Take care. But I think as far as like books, I mean, Three Hearts and Three Lions. Aragorn is stated flat out to be a ranger. He's not a paladin. If there's a paladin in The Lord of the Rings, I would probably say it's Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth. Maybe Theodred or no, Theoden. But if I would say if you could point to a single character in The Lord of the Rings and say that guy's probably a paladin, it would be Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth. Would be my go-to. Now I will say this: Tracy Lesh has written a fantasy book about a paladin. That's on my reading list. I need to read it. It's called The Paladin. You can get it on Amazon. Look for Tracy Lesh, and he's supposed to be working on a sequel. Chop chop, Tracy. I was gonna say Arthur in John Borman's classic Excalibur, but everybody in there is kind of screwed up in one way or another. Everybody kind of stumbles a little bit. Maybe Arthur, maybe Arthur, but nobody flat out says Paladin. And I think at this point, if you if you made a D&D movie again, and to be clear, Wizards fired their movie studio. I don't think we're ever going to see a D&D movie again. The D&D hat, not this thing, Honor Amongst Thieves, did not make enough money to merit a sequel, despite what everyone may tell you, people that like the movie. But if you made a D&D film and put a paladin in it, I promise you Wizards would just say, he would basically either be played as an idiot, like Dave Bautista as what's his name in Guardians of the Galaxy, or paladin would literally mean nothing. Just that guy has a breastplate and a two-handed sword. And he would act just as debased, just as amoral as everyone else in our post-irony. We got to make this exactly like a friggin' Joss Whedon script kind of a buddy team movie. So even if you made a movie and had a paladin in it today, it would have no impact. People would not look at that and go, that's what a paladin is supposed to be. Okay, all right. I have no idea, Robert. I haven't seen it yet. I still haven't seen it. I need to. I have never seen, or perhaps I should say read, Chrono Trigger, so I don't know what that is. You're exactly right, Jorge. Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. That's the thing. Okay, look. If people call them blackguards or oath breakers or dark knights or black knights or whatever, that's fine. Don't call them paladins. They're not paladins. I just fucking hate that. Anyone can be in anything. You can call it anything you want. I'm playing I'm playing a cleric. Yeah, but all you have are wizard spells. You're just, you do all wizardly stuff. Yeah, I don't care. I call it a cleric, so I'm playing a cleric. Are the Jedi's paladins? See, I would tend towards that that you have lawful good and lawful evil monks is basically how I would do the Jedi and the Sith, with lots of psionics. Oh, Thank you, Damien. Yes. Okay. I know. Just you saying JRPG on SNES, just it like all the images of boxes and cartridges and art and everything else just flooded into my brain. That little pull down tab was closed and you popped it open. Yes, I know Chrono Trigger, not from gameplay or anything, but the movie is on streaming services. It was fine. Very cool. If Paul was to die, would I allow? Yeah, absolutely. And all the baggage that comes with them. All the baggage that comes with them. I would absolutely allow you to play a monk. And making your monk would be incredibly easy. Oh, well, no armor, D4 hit dice. No wealth whatsoever. So all of their XP has to come from, 90% of their XP has to come from slaying monsters. Overboard says, don't get me started on a magic spell crossover with classes. I'm going to encourage my players to select class-based spells and only give them a few extra. No overlap fireballs. Thank you. Thank you, Overboard. That is great. That is absolutely magnificent. I like that idea a lot, actually, Overboard. I mean, people that have tried to shore up things and keep the clarity of individual classes in 5e, I salute you. You guys going out there and you're hoeing a hard row. Yeah, I mean, to get the XP, you got to keep the trash. I'm just yanking you, just seeing if you're awake over there. How are you feeling, by the way, Gonzalo? Gonzalo was a little under the weather last night. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. A meeting? It's 10:15 at night. What meeting are you having? Yay! That's great, Gonzalo. If you have human malware, that means you probably still feel like you've been hit by a truck in exceptionally slow motion, but still at top speed. Still, it's 7:15 at night where you are. Tell them to get bent. Medieval speed. You manage a team of chat agents. Oh, so you just keep a bunch you just keep a bunch of AI bots going. Gotcha. So anyway, I have spoken. I am objectively correct about what a paladin is and what a paladin is not. Oh, what about my lawful evil paladin who always followed rules, even if people did? You had a fighter that was lawful evil. My chaotic good paladin of Elarista Restare is just an elf fighter. Maybe you fight elves. Maybe you're an elf who fights. I don't judge. I will not participate in the robbing of this hobby's roots and heritage and the tearing down of it and the denigration of it. A paladin is a lawful good human who meets a set of stats. You know what? You hate stats, or maybe you do point buy so it won't actually matter. That's fine. Lawful good human who walks the straight and narrow. Yeah, it's 10:15 here, Jorge. You're a little to the right of where we are here in Florida. If you just like draw a straight line down the US East Coast, I think you're a little to the right. For those who don't know, Jorge is literally at the far end of the planet. He's near the entrance to the the German Antarctic Vril bases where they go into the hollow earth and they launch their saucers to their moon base. Dwarven samurai. That's funny. That's funny. That's right. There's nothing stopping you from playing a chaotic evil cleric. A chaotic evil fighter cleric if you want to use edged weapons. There's this great meme that's like it's a Mercator projection, and there's an arrow pointing at Asia, and it says the Far East, and then there's one pointing at England that says Western Europe. So anyway, yes, I am objectively correct about this, and if you want to argue with me about it, feel free to argue with me in the comments. Oh, hey, be safe, Kyle. Take care. Yeah, it's it's late summer here in here on the East Coast, so heavy weather. Um, and of course in the Midwest too. I pretty much think only if you're in like the Sonora Desert or SoCal, you're getting hit with heavy weather. Would RoboCop make a great paladin? Yes, he would. Absolutely, unquestionably. Murphy was lawful good before he underwent total body prosthesis. And that's a fact. And that's why he survived the process. That's why he mentally survived the process. The failed RoboCop clips where it's like 2 or 3 RoboCops that self-remove themselves after injuring people. Hey, Brian Acosta, good to see you. If I didn't already say hello to you. Starting the second book, Legend of Drizzt audiobook. I've never read any. The only D&D fiction that I have read is that is direct Dungeons and Dragons books. The first Dungeons and Dragons novel ever written, of course, is Quag Keep by Andre Norton. My appraisement of it, my assessment of it has gotten more favorable as the years have gone on. And some of Gary's Gord the Rogue books, but not all of them. And the Gnome Cache, which unfortunately never got finished. I asked Rob Kuntz if he knew how Gary was going to finish the Gnome Cache that he was writing in early issues of The Dragon. And Rob very wryly said, you'd have to ask Gary. That's interesting, Damien. Agile Monk, hello, good to see you. I hope you are remaining agile this evening. Let me see. Oh, but anyway, we were talking about RoboCop. Yes, RoboCop would be essentially was a paladin. You know, when they tried to overload his brain with all those directives, yeah, he basically did the equivalent of sending a little bit of voltage, sending a voltage spike. Now, thank you, Agile Monk. I appreciate it. You can actually cause things to reset by sending a little extra voltage through them. So RoboCop knew that, being technology himself, and just grabbed those bus bars and went until his BIOS was wiped. But he was still good. He was still lawful good, even though uphold the law, serve the public trust, and protect the innocent. I think were his four directives, or his three directives, and then he had don't arrest OCP employees. Even though he purged those out, he still behaved in a lawful and good fashion. Hence, RoboCop equals Paladin. Anyway. You know what, Doc? Rorschach is a tough case to discuss. I don't know. If you had an AD&D paladin that adhered to Rorschach's ethos, yes. But I don't know. I mean, that goes back to moral relativism, though, because Watchmen was set up to be a morally gray comic book, and of course, what's his name was scandalized that audiences glommed on to Rorschach. You know, the people loved Rorschach. I wouldn't try to defibrillate your computer, Jorge. Yeah, that's Rorschach was Dredd without the badge, and I would say that Dredd was not a paladin. Dredd was lawful neutral. I firmly believe Dredd upheld the law because it was the law. I don't think Joe Dredd really felt just even a little bit bad about oppressing people to uphold the law. The law was everything. I am the law, not I am justice, not I am law and good, not, the protecting the innocent part. If there were innocents around, if there weren't, he'd still do it. I mean, at the beginning of Dredd, which we still need a sequel for, there's an if I become a billionaire moment. What if you did hit like one of those $4 or $5 billion? I'd invest $200 million in a Dredd sequel with that cast, that same cast. Well, obviously not Lena Headley. Now, I will say that, Doc Flamingo, I will agree with you. Rorschach was the only one with any integrity. I think the Owl was good, but he was spineless. Owl literally was, there were so many things Owl could have done, but he was just spineless. Watchmen needed the squid, having Dr. Manhattan be the Eastern. Yes, no, I agree with you. I agree with you, Gonzalo. Thank you for the super, and thank you, Doc, for the super. Do paladins ignore evil laws? Okay, I am so glad you asked me that, Doc Flamingo, and I agree with you 100%, Gonzalo. By the way, and I again, I thank you for the super. We've gotten some great supers tonight. Thank you. Superman and Captain America are paladins, unquestionably. Cap is a paladin, always has been, always will be, which is why I was fucking disgusted by Tanishi Coates' whole I've been an agent of Hydra since 1945. And then trying to frame some of Cap's past things and flashbacks as serving Hydra, sort of retconning. That's bullshit. That's modern moral relativism again. So Doc asks, do paladins ignore evil laws? Yes, unquestionably. And I'm going to tell you something. We're going to bring this up here. Hang on a second. All right. Got to get to this. Bear with me a second, guys. All right. Let's take a look at something here. Share screen, window, bap, bap. All right, let's look at alignment here. And I want to talk about lawful good. We're not going to do too deep of a dive on alignment. But I want this as clear as possible. Lawful good. While as strict in their prosecution of law and order, characters of lawful good alignment follow these precepts to improve the commonweal, or commonweal, rather. To improve the commonweal. Certain freedoms, of course, must be sacrificed in order to bring order, but truth is of highest value and life and beauty of great importance. The benefits of this society are to be brought to all. There are no evil laws in that system. A paladin would not follow evil laws under such a system because evil laws would not exist under such a system. I'm not saying that, like, okay, well, it's the law that you have to kick puppies, then becomes a good law. I'm saying a puppy kicking mandatory law wouldn't exist. It would not exist. A paladin that finds a society that has evil laws in it is not bound to obey those laws. Because evil laws do not promote the commonweal. They don't. Now let's look at the Dungeon Master's Guide for just a moment. Let me just zoom this in real quick. All right. Lawful good. This is from the Dungeon Master's Guide that kind of builds on to what we were just saying. Creatures of lawful good alignment view the cosmos with varying degrees of lawfulness or desire for good. They are convinced that law and order are absolutely necessary to assure good, and that good is best defined as whatever brings the most benefit to the great number of decent thinking creatures and the least woe to the rest. You combine that with what's in the player's handbook, and you should have a pretty clear picture of what lawful good is. So the idea of, oh, well, slavery and murder is legal in this kingdom, I guess your paladin has to obey those. Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. Under no circumstances. None whatsoever. Go look at the definitions of law and good. There is no, but this society, torture is legal. So you got to obey it. No. The paladin goes into that society with a drawn sword and says two words, two little words, Deus Vult. Vampires are chaotic evil. Thank you, Rob Turner. I will check it out on Discord. Thank you for sending me something. I heard something come in on Discord. I wasn't sure. Dirty Harry Callahan was a paladin. Yes, he was. He absolutely was. I might have missed some stuff while I was reading that, so I'm going to scroll back up. Let's see. I left off at Gonzalo saying Watchmen needed the squid. Dredd would go after judges that abuse their authority. Sure, because they weren't maintaining lawful neutrality either. And this is an important thing about the judges. There was a famous story arc in Judge Dredd, where there was basically a rebellion in Mega City 1. Basically, everybody up and down the East Coast, they rebelled. They wanted the right to vote. They wanted democracy back. The judges had done away with the Department of Justice and is due to escalating crises and storylines. And the judges said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You want freedom back? You want a republic back? You want the United States of America back? We'll put it to a vote. We'll put it to a referendum, a national referendum. Do you want the judges to control society, or do you want an open republic again, where you vote for elected officials? And the judges sat back. They didn't rig the vote. They let the votes get counted. And guess what? Everybody voted for the judges. It was like a 2/3 in favor of the judges taking over. I'll take that challenge, Starblazer, if I ever get to play. Nobody would want to live in Mega City 1. The place was a hellscape. Yep, but then they kept bringing him back for sequels over and over, Doc. Clint was a paladin in Pale Rider. An undead paladin at that. The rent is cheap. There's people who like walk up and spit on a judge just to spend like 2 years in the cubes just for, just for 1 square meal a day. No, I mean, it's implied that your 2.2 meter by 2.2 meter by 2.2 meter cell that you spend your time in is not pleasant. Wave of mutilation. Hello, how are you? Yeah, we're still going on. It's only been an hour. Clint was not a paladin in High Plains Drifter, though. No. That's I would probably go with AD&D Revenant because he did have a corporeal body. No, God. I mean, he's he's described as being a terrible person and unforgiven. Like he's gotten a little bit of redemption taking care of his kids, but no. I would put him down as just a chaotic good fighter in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and the rest of the Dollars films. Good examples of paladins in books. The Holger the Dane, Olger Dudansk, Holger Carlson in Three Hearts and Three Lions. This one right here, Jorge. This is the one you want, buddy. This is the book about paladins. Three Hearts and Three Lions right here, except no substitutes. This is my Doubleday Science Fiction Book Club copy. Very beaten up. I never noticed that. There's half a moment. Bear with me just a second, guys. Just want to look at something real quick. By the way, just going to let you guys know, tomorrow night, Yang and Zhao will be my special guest, and we have a big announcement. Yang and I have a big announcement for you guys. You don't want to miss that one. All right, let's see. No, I don't. There's some writing that dates back to 1962 in one corner of this book, and I thought for just a moment maybe it'd been like a small autograph there, but it's not. It doesn't look anything like Paul Anderson's signature. Anyway, we'll put that there. Any paladins in Tolkien? We were talking about this way before you got here. I would say I've never read Eddings. Don, I tried. I tried to get into it. Wasn't my cup of tea. I would say Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth was probably the closest to a paladin, but we don't really get to know him other than he brings like some 2,000 of his swan standard bearing warriors to the defense of Gondor, and then journeys with them to the final battle at the gates of the Morannon. But let me see. All right, so Imrahil. Known as Prince Imrahil, was the 22nd Prince of Dol Amroth. He had two older sisters, Iverniel and Findulius, his daughter Lothoriel, wedded Eomer, king of Rohan, in the last year of the Third Age. He was the only son of Adrahil, 21st prince of Dol Amroth. He succeeded to the fief at the death of his father in 3010, married to an unknown wife. He had three sons, Elpir, Erikion, and Amrothos, and a daughter, Lothariel. Here indeed was one who had elven blood in his veins. If Gondor still had men such as these in the days of fading, great must have been its glory in the days of its rising. So yes, I would say probably Imrahil would be a paladin. So where was Gondor when the Westfold fell?
Your mother is so fat, I couldn't see where Gondor was when the Westfold fell, because it was behind her.
Oh, good quote, Doc.
Your mother is so unsightly, I let her pass.
Faramir. Okay, no. Faramir was specifically a ranger, was a captain of rangers. He and his men were rangers.
Your mother is so unsightly, she made orcs take meat off the menu.
Hey, great old ones. Good to see you. I love the Rohirrim, Gonzalo. Absolutely. Absolutely love the Rohirrim. Eomer's cry of despair when he finds Eowyn on the Pelennor fields, Eowyn's speech against the Witch King of Angmar, and that will always be a handful of sand in my gears of Jackson's many, many sins against the Lord of the Rings books. Stripping Eowyn down to a single thin punchline was the most hurtful. I think of all there's not enough time, Bill. They added stuff in there that lengthened the movies. Why didn't you cut down on your invented crap and leave room for her to have that excellent speech? I was saying that Faramir is a captain of rangers. Which I guess doesn't necessarily say that he could not be a paladin. Rangers would probably follow a paladin in battle. I mean, obviously, it's not Aragorn. Aragorn's a ranger. I mean, where we get a lot of the ranger stuff from is from Aragorn, right? The hands of a king are a healing's hands. Oh, so he can cast healing spells. Herb lore, all that stuff. Is anyone on Mordor's side going to try and steal the Witch King? There was time for the full dialogue. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Damien. Precisely. that interplay, that dialogue there. But yeah, the Rohirrim really, I mean, Amor was going to hate it. Amor was absolutely going to hate to have to do what he was about to do, but he was absolutely ready to kill Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn on the spot. But he was going to do it if he had to, because, slay any who move in our country without our permission. Hey, Alan Canning. And everybody was more or less like that. The only people who weren't like that were the hobbits, because they didn't know what was going on. And the elves, because I think the worst you could expect, if you were just some peasant family, you load everything up on your wain and you just try and get the hell out of wherever there's going to be a lot of trouble. Although leaving Gondor and going north along the Anduin, probably not a good idea. Hey, what are those mountains over there, Dad? Those are the mountains that are between us and Mordor. And we're going to get a little bit closer to them. Then we're going to get close to a fairyland where, people disappear and are never heard from again. And then we're going to get close to southern Mirkwood. And then we're going to get close to the Misty Mountains, which are full of goblins and orcs. But I promise we're going someplace safe. Yeah, you were probably better off just staying put in Gondor rather than trying to get out anywhere. But if you you happened to stumble into Lothlorien, I think the worst case scenario is you'd wind up blindfolded and turned around and taken to the border and sent packing. I think they would almost treat it on a case by basis, like, all right, you're 8 drunken idiots and you're armed with spears and bows and arrows and spoiling for a fight. Yeah, maybe you guys don't make it out of the misty witch queen's kingdom. The family, mom's expecting a third one. She's got 2 little ones on her hips and dad just looks panicked and scary. Maybe they get a little bit better treatment. Exactly. You don't simply walk into Mordor, but you better run when you go past it. This is a good question here. Whoops. This is a good question here. How do I handle vague ranger skills like adept at woodcraft, tracking, scouting, and infiltration and spying? So the infiltration part is interesting. I literally would play it on a case by basis. There I go with that phrase again, case by. I would just do case by case to see, tracking is obvious. You've got a whole section in the player's handbook on tracking. Scouting and infiltration. Woodcraft, that covers a lot of stuff. Hey, we're out here in the wilderness. It's pouring down rain. What do we do? Tombo the ranger will make a lean-to. We'll lay our cloaks on it, then we'll lay layers of branches, and we'll all be able to stay relatively dry tonight. Yay, Tombo! So all our rations are gone. Tombo comes back with double armload of fish and a couple of conies, and you eat well that night, and the right berries to eat. But as far as the infiltration and spying, it would literally have to be one of those adjudicate in the moment kind of things. Like assign it, just mentally assign it based on, it's like, and yes, taters. You would find taters. So we just have to see how that shakes out. Might use a D6. Like, okay. Look at Ranger Surprise. Ranger's only surprised a 1 in 4. I might use that mechanic for the infiltration. Yes. Peregrine. Potatoes. Or Paladin took, rather. Yeah, don't dox anybody, Way. Please don't dox anyone. Yeah, Gonzalo, I would just we'd have to talk about what you were doing and play it in the situation. If it's like there, there's thousands and they're on a march and it's pouring rain and it's night. I want to infiltrate their army, Okay, well, you pull your cloak over your head, maybe you rub some lamp black under your eyes to kind of disguise your look a little bit, or some ash to make your skin pale, and you kind of infiltrate your way in and listen to their talk. There's 10 of them. They have 2 set up on a watch. It's an open plain, and they're walking around. Yeah, well, there might be okay. I'll give you on a 1 through 3 on a D20. I'll check for surprise. Otherwise, they see you coming, and you'll have to roll initiative. Interesting, Gonzalo. How did they get to the Shire? Potatoes came from Peru, and tomatoes. Well, I mean, tomatoes didn't come from Peru, but it's funny the amount of nightshade that Tolkien wanted to import into Middle Earth. So yeah, I would just look at the individual circumstances of each one. Just tell me you're doing some basic preparation for again, you're going into a big bustling village or encampment where there's lots of people going to and fro late at night, versus there's a dozen of them. They know their numbers. They're all sleeping, with their feet facing inward towards the fire lightly. And they have 3 sentries, and it's a rolling plain on a moonlit night. Well, you might get close enough to hear some chitter chatter. But I rolled a nat 20. No, I agree with you, Rob Turner. That's dumb. I kind of lean into that, Alan, what you're saying there about Rangers with Gary thought the Rangers infiltration would be narrated sort of as a background as to how much they can gather outside of the actual gameplay. Yeah, I mean that's absolutely a look. That's absolutely or something to look at, rather. All right. We are coming up on the bottom of the hour, and I still have a copy of Crom to give away. I wanted to wait till Rob came back, because Rob he threw his name in the hat. So I tell you what, let's do this at exactly the bottom of the hour. I will start taking input for Crom, and I will tell you guys what you have to type. I'm not going to tell you now. But basically, you'll type what you want in all caps, or you'll type what I tell you if you want Crom in all caps, and then we'll proceed apace. No, I mean at the bottom of the hour. At oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I was looking at live. Yes, at the top of the hour. Thank you, Gonzalo. Yes, at the top of the hour. At the top of the hour. So yeah, in just a few minutes, I will tell you guys what the entry word is. You will type the entry word in all caps if you wish to be entered for the drawing for Crom. So you will type that in. I will put your name in the drawing. And then at the quarter hour mark, 15 minutes, I think that's fair. Oh, I understand, Rob. Fireball would give away the Rangers. So we have just a few more minutes. Not 20. Oh my! I don't think. Yeah. Although I gotta say, and this has been frustrating the hell out of me. I'm going to be running a tournament AD&D game in Lake Geneva next week. And just now, I like yesterday or the day before, I got added to this Facebook discussion group. And they're just now talking about, it's like, well, I guess, we can all assume that a natural 20 will always hit, and it's like blah, blah, Thaco and so on. It's, we're doing D10 initiative for, and I'm like, guys, it's a first edition AD&D tournament. There's the rule book. That's literally what that's built for. You guys are like dragging in this dross from basic and second edition and stuff. I'm like, just if it's a 1E AD&D tournament, use the 1E AD&D rules. It's that simple. You're like, well, what about spellcasting? What about spellcasting? It starts on the segment of the winner's initiative. It's something they cooked up for the convention. I got to go back and look and see what I signed up to run. Not the adventure at the con. I have that packet already. I mean, what I said I was going to run and polish off anything that I need to. So we shall have to see. And I think I said I'm going to run Lost Crypt. I'll see if anybody signed up for them. It was a while ago that I put my games in the grid. All right, we are just a minute and change away from me putting up the word. And it will be your chance to get a free copy of Crom, courtesy of the Delver's Dungeon, but also Gonzalo. He made that happen, and I appreciate it. EggCon, Alan. EggCon is a convention celebrating the birthday of E. Gary Gygax. It's put on by Eric Garland and Heidi Gygax Garland. We are less than a minute away, less than 1 minute away, folks, from the giveaway at the top of the hour, the beginning of the giveaway, the entry for the giveaway. Yeah, no, I'm with you, RPG Grandma. Just get the 3 AD&D books and go. Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and they're asking about Thaco and, oh, I assume spellcasting just goes, at the start of the round. And no. Do you guys know how segments work? All right, there we go. The word is simply Crom. Right now, if you want the opportunity to win a copy of Crom, type Crom in all caps in the chat, and I will put you on the list. Now is your chance. Now is your chance. I can hear those keyboards clicking away, those phones tippity tapping. Alrighty, I'm getting your names. Rob Robovsky Turner, if you're still out there. First edition advanced D&D character generation software. There is a no equal. You might say, but I've got an abandonware copy of Dungeon Master's Assistant 2 Characters and Treasures. That ain't get it. That doesn't let you level your characters. That doesn't let you drain levels. That doesn't let you change their stats, but then adjust things. Great old ones. I got you, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Well, Rob, wait, don't depart yet. You're here. I'm putting your name in. I will let you know if you win. If you're here for the entry, but you got to go, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But saying like at the top, like, yeah, enter me. I'm gonna go now. That ain't getting it. So you're here during the entry. You're on the list, buddy. You're on the list. Buy your character's equipment, sell gems and jewelry, drain levels from your characters, dual class your humans characters or your half elves if you've got an eye to becoming a bard. Want to know if they've got psionics? This will cover it. This will absolutely generate spell books for magic users. First to 30th level. And that's an interesting question that some people ask me, like, why just set it 30th? Honestly, you're not going to run a D&D character up past, or an AD&D character up past the teens, right? So I just capped it at 30. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody's out there who's like, but I wanted to make custom characters for Throne of the Bloodstone. Get out of here. just get out of here. I have a sample of it around here, Alan. I got a free RPG Day sample of it, but I don't have the whole thing by any stretch of the imagination. Exactly so, Doc. Exactly so. I've had thoughts for Crom 2.0. One of them is it gives you the option to pick a class beforehand rather than hope you get the stats. Maybe. That's a lot of coding, though. Like, that would be a full version number jump. That would jump us from 1.5 to 2.0. That would be a big enough thing. RPG Grandma, do you want in for the Crom test? You got 10 minutes. Well, Wave, you can buy a copy of Crom and then just cross out human and cross out lawful good. There you go. All right. All right, I've got 9. Anybody want to make it 10 so I can use the on-screen die roller with a D10? I don't like saying, "Oh, well, we'll just ignore a 10," because that screws up the curve. I don't like that. Guys, this is the last copy I've got. Wonderful Wizard of Games, good to see you. Wonderful Wizard of Games, we are giving away tonight, and tonight only, we are giving away a copy of Crom. Would you like to enter to win a copy of Crom? If you do, type Crom in all caps and let me know. All caps, just like right on the screen there. I think I've chewed all the flavor out of the Artisan Computers meme. That's a few years old. We've got about 8 minutes left, so if you're sitting on your hands wondering, oh, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't. RPG Grandma, have you ever seen the Chaosium supplement for Call of Cthulhu called Terror Australis? Well, you could call it Dungeons and Drakes is also, in addition to being a male duck, it's also another word for dragon. So it's a great one, RPG Grandma. Do recommend it. If you can find it, that is. I still wish I'd had money a couple of years ago to get the 2-inch thick Call of Cthulhu repro box. The 1-inch was nice, but the 2-inch, the thing is, I had one of the adventure books that they were offering already, and I was like, the difference is like $49.99 or $119.99. So I went with a 1 instead, and this could be a great place to start. All right. See, now if you win this, Wonderful Wizard, now if you win it, you'll have to buy a copy of the 1E Player's Handbook, because that is the detailed instruction manual for the software. Because people are like, how come such and such doesn't do so and so? And I'm like, it does. Or that's because that's the way it worked. Look in your Player's Handbook. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Dwarves can't be magic users. Okay. I gotcha. If I just typed in the chat there, if you have a platypus Egyptian god, that's what you gotta name him, RPG Grandma. If you know, you know. There you go, wonderful Wizard of Games. Absolutely. Join us over here on the 1E side. We have proper paladins, lawful good humans, just the way the gods intended. Oh, Doc, with a spoiler. Perry. Make him a master of disguise, a trickster god. All right. We're coming up. We have a little less than 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. Guys, the watchword, the entry word is Crom. You want to win a copy of Crom, the character record organizational manager. Jorge knows what time it is. Absolutely. Got to wear a fedora. And if you're wondering what Crom is, I can show it off for you guys real quick. Just briefly, just before we get going. We almost have time to make another character, but not quite. But take a look at this beauty, won't you guys? Character record organization manager. You can create a character, just throw it right in here. All the methods are listed. We'll do 3 for ease of use. Dwarf, elf, gnome, half-elf, halfling, half-orc, human. What do we get for stats? I didn't even see. Our stats are 15, 14, 15, 12, 14, 15. I'm liking cleric. I'm liking a human cleric for this. A priestess of Pere. Yes, I have. So we do that. We do that. Let's see. Make a cleric here. Nice high-level cleric. So 7. 3 proficiencies. Melee. Let's go footman's flail and mace. And a good old stout club. Shot the armor. Say, I don't know. How about ring mail and a large shield. And done. Done with the armor. Let's get some weapons. And melee, of course. We're going to go footman's flail. We're going to go with a footman's mace. And a club, which costs nothing. She just needs to pick up a stout billet. And let's go back. Let's get a horse. Go to livestock. I don't know, Michael Dale. I don't know. Let's do that. Let's be done. Let's get tack and harness. Let's do bit and bridle, harness, saddle, large saddle bags, and a saddle blanket. 13 gold, miscellaneous equipments and items. We're going to go with a small helm, a backpack, a couple flasks of oil, tinderbox, done, and we are done. Yes. Check for psionics. No, because we're not going to get them. Lawful good. Oh, what alignment is Pere? What alignment is Pere? The Egyptian platypus god. Encumbrance calculations are built in, Alan Canning. Michael Dale, yeah, I don't know. Not 2025, I don't think, unless I just get hit with a lightning bolt. Yes, I am tinkering with it. I have gem and jewelry valuation. So neutral. So we'll make her neutral. And Candace, of course. Enter. We're going to save it as text. And we're going to create another character. We're going to load Candace. And there she is. That's how fast I got that done, guys. I got it done in time to roll the die to see who would win a copy of Crom. And as you can see, Candace destroys zombies and skeletons, auto turns ghouls, auto turns shadows, wights run away at a mere 4, ghasts flee at a 7, wraiths hold up at a 10, mummies are pretty tough at a 13, specters still hold strong, and vampires and ghosts are still pretty dicey. So we are ready now. I'm going to go down the list. If you want to enter and you don't hear your name called, you need to tell me right now. I have Kemeister 70, Alan Canning, Doc, Brian Acosta, Gradsmere, Great Old Ones, Rob Turner, who is not present, RPG Grandma, and the Wonderful Wizards of Games. So if you didn't hear your name called, this is the last chance you've got to enter Crom in all caps to win a copy. I will give you 30 seconds. It's a little bit more than I wanted to. We're almost there. Jason Thomas wants a shot at Crom. And that is the last. That is it. Entries are closed. So I've got 11, so I can't do it on the thing. I'm going to have to go into Discord, and I'm going to roll it, and I'm going to snip the die roller after I share it. So let's go down into my die roller. Going down into my die roller. We're in dice only, so we're going to roll. We're going to use familiar 1d11. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to mode rectangular snip, just because you guys don't need to see all that. All right, now I'm going to share this with you guys and announce who it is at the same time. Share screen, window, Bob, share. And we have the winner of the second copy of Crom we are giving away here on the show is number 2, Alan Canning. Alan Canning, congratulations. Number 2, Alan Canning. You were number 2 on the list, buddy. Congratulations. Alan, send me an email, and I will send you a link to Crom right this evening. I think you're going to like this a lot, dude. I think you're going to like Crom quite a bit. So, good times, good stuff. Yeah, in fact, I have Discord open. If you want to shoot me a private message real quick in Discord, Alan, I will shoot you the link. I will do that for you right now because I'm just that nice of a guy. And congratulations to Alan Canning. And hey, guys, if you still want it and you didn't win, well, guess what? You can get it for the low price of $25 US. Take care, Gonzalo. Thank you. Thank you very much for the giveaway. Just waiting on that. Just drop me a DM. I have the link right here to hand. I will delete that. That's right, 25 domars, 25 US dollar dues. I don't know what that might transfer to in your local currency, but I think what do you call it? PayPal will automatically do that for you. Take care, great old ones. Have a lovely evening. Be well. Just waiting on that PM, Gonzalo. But that is gonna do it for me tonight, everyone. I'm going to wrap up. Okay, I just saw your message there, and here comes the link. Now this is one copy per household, or rather one copy per purchase. So please do not share that link around with anyone. Don't share it publicly or anything like that. Download and enjoy, my friend. That does work on Windows 10 and 11. I don't think it shouldn't. I don't think it should have any problems with Windows 8.1 or 8 or 7. Older than that, I can't really guarantee. And it also works in Linux on Wine. You have to run it in Wine. If this were Cyberpunk 2020, yeah, it'd be like 500 euro bucks. Can you play it on your VIC-20? It's 8 megabytes. So if you have 450 VIC-20s, I think you're good. You'd need that big cartridge expansion bay. Plug. I remember when I was a kid and my parents were talking to me about computers, and I had seen so much cool software that came up for the VIC-20 that needed an 8, 16, 32, 8, 16, 24, or 32K cartridge. And back then, a 32K cartridge for the VIC-20 was prohibitively expensive. It was like $200. Like, unless you had something seriously going on with the VIC-20, it did not make sense to buy that instead of a C64. Well, the C64 was $595 when it came out, so maybe it was. But anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. I think you're going to love Crom, Alan. And because I know I love it, and I know I loved creating it. Thank you, everyone. I will be back tomorrow night. Yang Yan Zhao is going to be here, and we have a big, huge announcement. I'm really excited about it and looking forward to it. I want to thank Thomas Smith, Doc Flamingo, and Gonzalo for the supers tonight. You guys are awesome. Good luck with that. I guess they could use one of those bank switching RAM cartridges, or 10 of those bank switching RAM cartridges, maybe, to get that to work. But anyway, I will let you guys go. Thank you all for being here tonight. I love you to pieces, but I really don't have any control over the owl bears. So please do be careful on your way out. Good night. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.